Good morning, everyone. Let me start with a quick experiment. Could you please close your eyes and don't fall asleep? And think about a great memory in which you celebrated a happy event with your family or with your friend, maybe a wedding, a birthday, a graduation. Probably a lot of joy and happiness, clear? Now, raise your hand if you see glass before your eyes. It could be in your hands, it could be on the table. You may even be able to hear the clinking glasses. So thank you. You can open your eyes now. But you have just demonstrated once again that glass is unique and it's an intimate element of our life. Glass, engineering emotion, and creating memories. So I'm Ludovic Valette, and I'm leading the Global Technology and Engineering Organization at OI. And today, I won't talk about a mathematical equation. And I know you are going to be disappointed, but that's okay. Instead, I would like to tell you a story. It's a story about a product that has been trusted for thousands of years, and that is more relevant than ever. Glass has shaped the identity of the food and beverage industry with countless iconic bottles, and continues to be the cornerstone of successful brand building campaigns. Nothing comes close to glass on taste, quality, and experience. It's also a story about industry transformations and breakthrough innovations, about taking bold actions to meet the evolving requirements of the packaging market, about the emergence of capabilities in the glass manufacturing process to enable higher flexibility, speed of deployment, and scalability. Of course, end-to-end sustainability is also addressed with lighter weight containers and the use of lower carbon energy sources. And it is a story about how consumer preferences shape trends toward health, wellness, and sustainability, how it opens up new opportunities for glass packaging solutions. Glass is made of all natural ingredients: sand, soda ash, limestone, and recycled glass. It is inert, and it won't contaminate your food or beverage. Glass is earth-friendly, reusable, and 100% recyclable. In a nutshell, glass is never trash and is always safe for you. The exact origin of glassmaking is still uncertain. Beside its natural forms, glass is one of the earliest man-made materials. The Egyptians produced the first hollow glass containers, which they used for ointments and oils. The first glass bottles are believed to be made in Mesopotamia around 1600 BC. And for more than 1,000 years, glass objects were made in a mold, or the liquid glass was actually poured around a core, which was later removed. But a technology breakthrough took place around 100 BC in Syria, when glass blowing was invented. The technology quickly spread across the Roman Empire, and glass blowing allowed craftsmen to make a large variety of shapes, and the inherent attractiveness of glass encouraged people to adopt it in nearly every aspect of their daily life. Merchants and traders routinely packed, shipped, and sold foodstuffs across the Mediterranean in glass bottles and jars. Did you know that one of the oldest unopened wine bottles was found in Germany and is about 1,700 years old? Now, fast forward to the recent history. The packaging market has been very dynamic over the past several decades. During the post-war era, glass affinity was very strong. Refillable systems were common, and in the 1970s and in the 90s, society focused on convenience with little consideration for the environment. In mature geographies, we saw conversions from glass to plastic across a number of categories. The situation was different in the 2000s, especially in emerging markets, because of strong returnable ecosystems. The growing middle class also demanded more premium products, typically packaged in glass. Then, the 2008 financial crisis initiated several years of austerity, and cost was prioritized over branding across the mainstream product line, accelerating the conversion of US beer from glass to aluminum and non-alcoholic beverage to plastic. But more recently, consumer preferences began to reflect strong underlying trends toward health, wellness, and sustainability. Over the past 2 years, the pandemic and increased urgency on climate change have accelerated these trends, which remain robust despite the current geopolitical uncertainty. These changes have had a profound impact on the $3 trillion global food and beverage market. Market trends and consumer preferences make it obvious that glass is actually more relevant than ever. And in many ways, glass is already what other packaging options aspire to be. Consumers look for wellness-oriented products that are also responsibly manufactured. And glass is the answer. It is the only food and beverage package that is generally recognized as safe by the US FDA. In a world where our actions have been reshaped by the pandemic, consumers accelerated their preference for attainable luxury in their everyday life, leading to conversion to premium products. With remote working arrangement, people are looking for indulgent treats and experimenting new meals. Finally, the digital economy has a profound impact on what people buy and how those products are packaged. Products need to look good and stand out in an online catalog, and no other packaging solution compares to the virtually unlimited design possibilities of glass. The shape, size, and color of a glass container alone can identify and define a brand and build a consumer connection unlike any other substrate. In conclusion, the favorable glass attributes are well recognized by consumers, a fantastic source of inspiration across the food and beverage industry. So now let's switch gear and review how the glass packaging industry had to transform over time and how it is ripe for another deep transformation. So just a pop quiz now, just to make sure that you continue to pay attention. When was the glass blowing technique invented? Absolutely. And this was the last breakthrough invention in the glass packaging process for 2 millennia. In the earlier 20th century, glass bottles and jars were still produced in a typical mouse-blown glass shop. But then, the glass container industry realized it had to reinvent itself to grow and scale up. And it became a pioneer in the development of breakthrough automation. Michael Owens patented the first automatic glass bottle making machine in 1903 that radically changed the way glass containers were produced and spearheaded a series of innovations and improvements. For example, the automated gob feeder was patented in 1990, leading to the first individual section forming machine, or IS machine, basically the direct ancestor of the machines that are still used today. After these disruptive innovations, the industry optimized the process with bigger, better, more effective machines and mastered this technology evolution for 100 years. However, the world is rapidly changing. Our society and the market are transforming. So should we target more than just an incremental technology evolution? Should we now aim at an industry revolution? The mega techno-economic trends shape the roadmap that the glass packaging industry should follow to successfully innovate. First, glass producers have to establish or reinforce their competitive position not only in glass packaging, but also against other rigid substrates. Second, packaging should be able to follow the demand of brand owners in emerging markets, being new geographies or new applications in established geographies. And third, but not least, the industry must continue to upgrade its sustainability profile. We can translate these high-level requirements into specific needs: lower capital intensity, improved operating cost, higher flexibility for product differentiation, or greater responsiveness to customers. Operating costs, for example, have been optimized over decades of continuous improvement initiatives. But now, to achieve a step change from the current baseline, we have to break loose from the past and embrace new production concepts. For example, how can we develop and implement an end-to-end integrated, born digital value chain? If I zoom in the manufacturing capabilities, technology collaborations happen across a large range of disciplines to develop and industrialize new sensors, closed-loop process control systems, and data management and analytics. In other words, the Revolution 4.0 is just around the corner. There is another characteristic that the glass packaging industry has mastered for decades: scale. Just to put things in perspective, OI has shipped approximately 41 billion glass containers last year. If we were able to put all those containers side by side, can you guess how long the line would be? About 2 million miles. That would be enough to go to the moon and back 6 times. Our assets are operating 24/7, 365. And our furnaces, these very large infrastructure that typically hold several hundreds tons of molten glass, are constantly kept hot. This is great for efficiency during long production campaigns. However, it takes months, sometimes years, to develop and execute greenfield projects to have capacity. And of course, it's a massive capital investment. And when the line is in operation, it is fine-tuned by skilled operators to produce hundreds of bottles per minute. You can imagine that it is more complicated when the market dynamics require agility and flexibility. So we believe that the next breakthrough in technology and the resulting novel business models will allow the industry to more efficiently follow the market and grow with customers. In other words, providing capacity where and when needed. In addition to sustainability and adequate operating cost and quality, we focus our research on scalability. For example, the ability to build new capacity in small or large increment at lower capital commitment, and speed of deployment using prefabrication and modular construction in light industrial warehouses. Sounds familiar to you? Well, probably so, as this promise is quite similar to the revolution that took place in the steel industry. Nowadays, over half the US national steel output is reported to be produced in steel mini mills, while the production share of the giant integrated steel mills continue to shrink over time. The parallel with the mini mills extend to what may be the primary challenges of the 21st century: sustainability. The environmental and societal impact of an integrated steel mill is very different from a steel mini mill, which minimize carbon emission at the production point by using electricity as a primary source of energy. It maximizes the use of recycled scrap metal as raw material and lowers the impact of logistics and transportation by aligning its product offering with the local demand. So coming back to glass, and simply put, the world wants both highly sustainable packaging and equally sustainable companies and manufacturing processes. Glass containers are already the most sustainable rigid package, and yet the industry must continue to enhance its sustainability profile. We aim at increasing our recycled content, which means that developing technologies capable of using less refined recycled glass. We aim at reducing containers' weight to minimize production impact and increase convenience. We aim at using low-carbon fuels to power our manufacturing processes, such as biofuel, renewable fuel, green electricity, and green hydrogen, to substantially reduce or even eliminate our greenhouse gas emissions. We also aim at building our furnaces from different materials with minimal maintenance and associated waste. And we aim at operating closer to the market demand to reduce the SOx and NOx emissions related to transportation, while creating an effective glass ecosystem. Sustainability is not limited to environmental question. Actually, many companies are developing a full environmental, social, and governance reporting structure, also called ESG. A sustainable organization constantly searches the proper balance amongst its products and processes and the needs of people, the planet, and our collective prosperity. In our vision of sustainable glass packaging, the innate circularity of glass meets disruptive technologies and other innovations to change how glass is made and sold, where we create a diverse and inclusive workforce, where our social engagement not only strengthens our community, but also has a positive impact on the environment. A vision that mitigates climate change risks while building strength and resiliency of our business. Our sustainability goals align and support our climate change mitigation approach, rooted in science-based emission reduction targets. It involves advancing technologies and the efficiency of our assets and finding creative ways to lower carbon impact, like increasing the share of renewable electricity, or advancing lightweighting to reduce energy and raw material, and finding tailored end-to-end solutions for recycled glass sourcing and use. Today, glass solves already for a broad spectrum of sustainability balance issues, such as waste and waste toxicity, recyclability, and human wellness concerns. Most alternatives may never be infinitely recyclable and require extensive chemical processes for manufacture and end-of-life recycling, not to mention unresolved issues such as ocean trash. These alternatives also rely on ingredients originating in faraway places. Have you heard the term molecular tourism yet? Well, just think about these ingredients that are extracted and then shipped around the world to be refined. And then they are shipped again to a different location where the material is further transformed, and then shipped again to the final location where it's converted into a container. Well, not glass. The raw materials are mostly local, and it's recycled where it's consumed. To illustrate how glass industry create symbiosis with its ecosystem, I would like to describe a social engagement program called Glass for Good, or G4G for short. G4G is about bringing glass recycling to all locations where OI operates, while partnering with local community around the plant to provide charitable donations based on the glass collected. These partnerships allow greater engagement and collaboration with the communities and provide mutual benefits. G4G helps with community waste and recycling goals, reducing logistic impact for them and for us, and strengthen our relationships. It's tricky. By now, you realize that glassmakers are proud of the product they make. Actually, producers of glass containers are so proud that they sign each bottle that leaves the production shop to make sure that there is no doubt about the origin. So next time you hold a glass bottle, just look for the unique punt, a very small logo on the heel of a container. So glass is a unique material. It's an ancient art that turned into science. It has been part of our culture and lives for centuries. The shapes, the colors, the possible use of glass has been a constant source of inspiration for creativity and innovation throughout history, and still are today. Glass inspires innovation because of its ability to transform something ordinary into something extraordinary. Not only in its applications and uses, but also in the technology and engineering used to produce it. Glass is part of a powerful sustainability story. The deeper meaning may actually come from what we cannot see. That glass is made from simple inert ingredients with glass-making processes that are marvels of modern technology and engineering. The result is a product that can be recycled and reused infinitely. A product that won't harm the earth, the ocean, or what is stored inside. Glass is a constant source of inspiration to transform what we do and how we do it in pursuit of a more sustainable way of life. With that, I thank you for your attention.